Exclusive chat with ET Now. The Revenue Secretary Tarun Bajaj states the state of the economy, says the government is expecting additional direct tax revenue of 3.5 lakh crores, but adds that revenue could, moderate come FY24 because of global headwinds.
Definitely, we are going to exceed the budgeted estimates that we have. I would separately mention to you about the direct taxes and the indirect taxes. The direct taxes, we grew last time about 49%, and this year again I think we'll grow by another 25 to 30%. That should be another 3.5 lakh crores over and above the budgeted estimates. And on the indirect taxes also, though we had reduced the excise duties and the customs duties also on the way, but I think we will not only achieve targets, but we'll exceed the targets a bit. So overall, I'm confident that we will beat the estimates by almost 4 lakh crores.
That's a very, very good margin that we are exceeding at. But also, if we look at the next financial year, the challenges are definitely expected to continue, whether it's inflation, whether it's the global situation that we are seeing, it might very well continue. Do you think then the revenue growth might moderate if we talk about the next financial year?
No, I think let's see what happens in the next year, but yes, what you're saying is true. It could happen because our buoyancy in the revenues for the last year and this year is going to be very healthy. So we have taken some measures because of which this has happened. So one cannot expect that the same revenue growth will continue for the years to come. And because of the headwinds that we are seeing, the war is there, then the European and the American economy, let's see how does it go. It's definitely going to have an impact on us as well. And if that happens, but I would definitely say that the buoyancy will be much above 1. Whether it will be the same as this year, that's very difficult to maintain. So, but it will be a good revenue growth, and we should grow. While the GDP will grow, so we will grow a little more than the GDP.
Right. But this picture is not looking as good as the tax revenue for non-tax revenue, if I can say. The RBI dividend that was announced in the last budget, it fell very, very short. What we got was only rupees 30,000 crore. How does it look to you for the current financial year? How do the RBI dividends look looking at all the global situation and the challenge that all the central banks are facing?
So what you're talking is the next financial year, I think. So let us see. It's very difficult to say what dividends will come out of RBI, especially with so many transactions must have taken place at the RBI front. But definitely the government would be expecting more than what they gave last year, which was just 30,000 crores. But I would also like to add that the banking sector is doing much better. So in non-tax revenues, in the dividends part, the dividends from the banks would definitely go up. So I think that would compensate for the lower dividend of RBI this year. I'm sure the government is very confident of achieving the fiscal deficit target of 6.4.
Okay.
So in spite of the fact that the subsidies, food subsidy, fertilizer subsidy, and also we had the petroleum subsidy have gone up, and some other expenditure would definitely come up, which would be seen in the December Parliament session. But I think still, as of now, I think we are confident that we would maintain our fiscal deficit and also move towards the path of the fiscal consolidation, which is 4.5% in 25-26.
The windfall gains tax was also an additional tax that was implemented in the middle of this year. Though the global crude prices, if I talk about, they have come down to much lower levels to at the time when the windfall gains tax was implemented. What is your outlook on that, and do you think it's the time now for a discussion, opportune time for removal of that windfall tax?
I feel that whenever the prices come down, it will automatically lead to the windfall tax either being lower, higher, or removing it completely if the cracks and the price of crude comes down considerably.
I would also like to ask you about the crypto tax that was implemented in the last budget. We are assuming it will continue for some time till some assessment of the policy is made. But what is the kind of revenue we are looking at in this financial year from this crypto tax?
Crypto tax is like capital gains tax. It will depend on how much trading has happened and how much money those people have made. Based on that only, we will get our crypto tax. Again, let me
All right, and on that note,